how it ends. Like you need to have the action. So you know you could do it. You need to go and get it. So that's how I think it starts off. So
Love
I'll
it.
let you
Yeah,
do the second
good
one.
job.
No, that was perfect.
Yep.
Dusty, you want to do the second one? Second, I realized the dominating thoughts.
Sure. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person.
Awesome. What do you get from that, whether it's you or anybody else? What do you guys get from that paragraph?
Well, for me, it's kind of what the book's really been trying to install with, for me anyway, is, um, we have to, obviously we need to write down our goals, and like what Anthony said, you have to, you have to do it. You have to, every day apply it. So for this to mentally picture that, mentally focus on the type of person we want to be. So for me, I've been doing that. So it's like I've been trying to focus on the realtor, the full service customer service realtor that I want to be.
Awesome.
And then personally, the nice person that I know I can be, that I know is my default personality, and treat people the way that I want to be treated. And yeah.
Do you feel it is your default personality, or do you feel there's effort to being the nice person that you want to be? Do you feel there's more work at it, or do you think it's easier? Is it easier to just think the way you want to think, or just allow your mind to think the way you want to think and feel? Or do you have to make a conscious effort?
That's a great question. I've actually been really questioning just that in general, not only with myself, but people in general. And
Right.
I really feel that either in other words, we pick up bad habits. So I truly believe that there's some people born just not good people, and then that gets enhanced with picking up bad habits.
Right.
I feel in my case, and then I'll say everybody on this panel right now, everybody on here we're all good people. We want other people to do well. So I think it's our default personality. Unfortunately, we pick up bad habits, and those get, I could relate to that mom with Anthony, like, the family members like, oh, you're not gonna do anything, like no encouragement, and a lot of people go through that. So when anybody is growing up with that kind of mental food for thought and those bad habits, instead of encouraging and, hey, just go have fun, whatever, don't worry about anything but just hitting that ball, instead of those good habits being taught, a lot of times we get the bad habits. So to answer your question, could be totally wrong, but I just feel like if you're a good person, you're born with that good soul. And then, sadly, we go through so many fire hoops throughout life that we catch fire at times and we get burned, and it affects our mindset.
Bro, no, it's not about being right or wrong. Number one, I think you nailed it 100%. I feel like today's session, everybody's just on it, whether it was on purpose or not. I feel like people are speaking from the heart and sincerity. And I also think that it's coming from, it's like that mastermind, that third mind, where we're getting words from another source right now, because everybody's on point. Other than Yvette's, I don't know. She's kind of, I had to catch her attention there. No, but Dusty, what you said about it, I do believe you're right. And what it reminds me of is it reminds me of like a child. They always talk about like a childlike curiosity until you've been hit with life, and then you start doubting yourself, or you start getting to you become jaded, I'll just put it that way. You know, you do it, you throw up this armor and these walls and you start doubting people. So I do feel innately we're good. And the way I prefaced the question, obviously, and part of why you're like, I'm not sure if that's right, because I gave you a leading question. For me, it's an effort to be thoughtful. This may sound really bad. It's an effort to be kind in certain situations. Certain situations, I just want to tell somebody how I feel. And a lot of times I feel when people see me not react, they think that that's me being timid or scared to get in a fight or scared to get in an argument or whatever it is. And they don't realize how hard it is for me to just zip it and shut up. Right. So that's where I start saying it's like the natural part of me is the fighter. The natural part of me wants to be right. The natural, like there's, and this could be, maybe I'm one of those bad people, you know, that you're talking about, Dusty, you know, that's grown a certain way. But I do know that I had that, you know, just that, I remember when I was 19, it's a crazy experience, but this random woman who was like 30 was telling me, she's, oh, there's something that you have inside you, you know, some type of like glow or happiness or whatever it was. She was like, don't lose it. And she's like, and when you get with the wrong people, you start losing that energy. You start losing that glow, that trust. And it's true. You start getting burned. You just look at people differently. Think of real estate. Think of like all the negative stuff that we see in our business. And it's hard to have a positive outlook on people. It's hard to have trust. It's hard to truly love and care about somebody and give it everything that you have, when at the end of it, it's just money and business to them. And they're going to do what they got to do to take care of themselves. So I love what you said, Dusty. And I think it's very true. And I feel it's very pure and innocent. And through life, through our environment, through bad experiences, through whatever it is, you know, instead of it teaching us how to be better and to grow, I feel like it takes us the other direction. And so we have to figure out how to break through those habits or those self-defense mechanisms that we've learned, understand it, and then still be able to grow from these situations. So we're not fearful of it. We know it's part of life. We know it's going to continue to happen, but how do we grow? So I love it. Love that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's do the third one. Yvette, since I called on you, you want to do number 3?
So I've been listening the whole time.
I know. I got to give you a hard time. Come on, Yvette.
Third, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of obtaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence.
Cool. So what does that mean to you?
I mean, it means to not let the negative thoughts like rule me. That's like, I mean, that's ultimately, it is easy for all of us to just like think of negative stuff. And like, I even see it now. Like I look at my son and hear him, I can't. He's 3. I'm like, what is this? I can't. Like, you know, but then I had to sit there and think of like the things that I've always told him not to do, or you can't do that yet because you're too little. Like, you can't climb on those rocks because you're going to fall and bust your head open. But those are my fears because I don't want to have to take my kid to the hospital.
Yep.
like I'm like, no, please don't do that because I don't want to pay a medical bill. Like, it really has nothing to do with him being able to or not. Or like, mama's not paying those. So don't hurt yourself. And so now I'm like, I'm having to readjust his thinking because now all these, I can't do that, mama. I can't do that. And I'm like, I'll punch you. You can't do that. Like,
that'll fix it.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. But like in the moment, I'm like, fuck, dude, what's wrong with you? Why are you so negative? You know? And I'm like, you're 3. There's nothing to be negative about yet. So I'm having to like readjust my parenting because it's like when Anthony was talking about the kid that's like defeated, I'm like, fuck, that's my kid already. Like, because I've been so worried about him getting hurt or, you know, doing something wrong that I've tried to protect him from it. And really, I've created this defeatist attitude already in him. And so like, that's where it's like reading this, I'm like, oh man, Like,
Hey, Yvette, I'll give you some advice if you want it.
sure.
Because I notice it with like what you're saying, like about telling them what you can or can't. Like, because, I have like a 6-year-old who at times will correct me and be like, no, you said, like, I can't do this. And it's
Yeah.
different when it's like, oh, okay. Because then it makes you change how you talk to them, a little bit. Because, like, for example, like my 1-year-old who wants to do everything that my 6-year-old wants to do.
Right.
Um, Mom and my approach are a little different because she'll be like very mom instinctive, like, no, don't do this, don't get hurt, whatever. Dad
Yeah.
instinctive, I'm like, you're gonna fall, you're gonna get hurt, but I gotta just look after him and watch him and supervise him. Like, I'll let him, I want to see what he gets into. And a lot of the time I find myself and I'm like, oh, he's a smart kid, he's actually not hurting himself. Because I know when I was a kid, I'd hurt myself all the time, like doing stupid
For
shit,
sure.
like jumping off a wall. And then I'm like, what
I
did I
mean,
think I was gonna gain from that?
well, and that's like, I mean, I think back to when I was a kid, we would jump off the second floor of our house onto the ground, like put all the blankets and pillows down when my mom wasn't home. Like,
Yeah.
I would murder my kid if I found out he did that. But like, and I think that's where it comes down to, as a mom, it's really hard to watch your kid like fall and get hurt. And like,
Yeah.
luckily now I have a partner who's like, hey, you got to step back. Like, you're hovering so hard. And I didn't think I was like a hover mom, but like, I'm realizing like at the playground, I am a hover mom. I'm like, no, you are going to fall off that thing and like bust your teeth out. No way,
Well,
Jose.
Well,
And
remember, you're planting the seeds. Like, if he gets up higher and you tell him, if you get up there, you're gonna fall, that's what he's thinking.
yeah,
What you need to just tell him is like, hey, buddy, like, if you do this, what do you think? Have him come up with the answer. Like, are you gonna be careful or are you gonna fall? Because then he's like, well, I could fall. You're right. Maybe I don't want to take that decision.
yeah.
Because
Well,
I know,
like,
like,
he'll get to the top and then he freaks out. And like, he'll be one step away from being on the structure and like standing there freaking out now. And it's because he knows that I used to say, be careful, you're going to fall. So now he's like,
right.
I'm scared, I'm going to fall. And I'm like, you literally are one step away from being on the structure. Like, what the hell?
It's that same, like you just said it, like it's that idea that you implanted in his brain. So he's
Yeah.
like, this is what's next. So all I'm saying is just like,
I'm working on it.
just talk to him and let him know like it's his own decision making of how to be careful and like avoid certain things. And I only say that because that's kind of like the way I was raised. My mom was very like, kid, don't touch that, don't do this,
Yeah.
don't do that. And my dad was more, okay, here, let me talk to you. Like, do you think that's a smart idea? And I'm like, well, now I realize it wasn't a smart idea, but like he would talk to me and that was like the key thing I would take away, that he would make me take a second and analyze a situation and just think through it, because he's like, do you want to do that? If you want to do that, like these are the outcomes. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I do, maybe I don't. And if I do know certain outcomes, like, at least I can make that decision for myself. Because I go back to like my 1-year-old. Like yesterday, we went to one of those jump places, and I was kind of like, he's 1 year old. I'm like, he's gonna freak out, if there's other kids. Like, it just takes one little thing for them to like hate the experience. So again, I just let him roam around, and I'm helping him avoid certain areas, but at the same time, seeing him just kind of like, navigate without me like freaking him out. Because I see that with mom, like he'll freak out, he'll be like, oh, I don't want to jump, like I'm scared. And I don't know, it's just, again, that going back to the book and trying to apply things.
Yeah.
No, I know. And that's like reading it, I'm like, oh, I'm setting the kid up. Like, I'm full of fear for him, and so now he's full of fear. And his dad's just as bad, but luckily now we've got a third person who's like, yeah, you need to chill. Like, you need to back up off your kid and let him do the thing. And I'm like, but what if he gets hurt? And like, he's like, then he gets hurt. Like, it is like, that's how he learns. And I'm like, that's horrible.
It's the truth. No,
I
it's good.
know.
And I appreciate you guys all sharing it. And in my opinion, it's one of the most important things to be able to share. This is one of the things that kept me fired up about this, is knowing not only the adults I could help out with this, that were friends or family or And a lot of this is rooted from my personal family. That's like, okay, how can I help them out? How can I help them discover things that may be bothering them and help them get to inner peace, right? And so that may have been initially what kind of created my burning desire to understand and learn this. But then I realized, wow, I can teach my kids certain things that are amazing. I can teach kids on baseball teams or softball teams that are amazing, start having an impact on the youth, So I want to, just out of respect for time, I see we're getting close to the end. I still want to finish this. So I'm going to try to do rapid fire here. Just pull out a quick thing on each of these of what we think the purpose is. And so far, the only things I haven't heard are like on the second one, it's dominating thoughts. So again, negative or positive, whatever you dwell on or think about all the time, whether good or bad, I don't want this car, or I do want this car, or I want this house, or I want this outcome, whatever it is, whatever you're focused on, that's what's going to reproduce itself, good or bad. So pay attention to that. Then the next one, principle on auto suggestion. That's where we're reading this. How do we influence our mind for the positive to get positive results? Because negative is so strong. And it says, I'll devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Why is that in there? Why do we need 10 minutes to develop our self-confidence? Is this developing our self-confidence? What we're doing right now is reading this out aloud, developing our self-confidence. And I would say yes, because it's helping you focus on the right things. Okay. So number 4 is I've clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life. There it goes again on definite chief aim in life, right? And we had definite purpose in life. So what's the difference between definite purpose in life and definite chief aim in life? Or are they the same thing? Is it the same idea? But I've clearly written down a description of it because I got to stay focused on what that goal is. Now, never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Again, we're getting back to self-confidence. So 5th, fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I'll engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I'll succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use, the cooperation of other people. I'll induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. This out of everything, this paragraph, and there's still more to it, but this is my favorite paragraph in the entire thing. And I feel it directly relates to everything we do in real estate. So what is it about this one that stands out to you for 5th?
Well, I like it because, like, I mean, it's a hard one because I think about, like, okay, you don't want to put your clients into a deal. Like, I've seen agents that overextend buyers, like, and they're like, oh, you'll be fine. And like that buyer's got to sell 2 years later because they're like, I can't afford these payments. I need something better. So, and that's like, for me, hard to watch. Like, you're not putting your client's best interest at heart, and your client's best interest might be right now. It's not a time for you to buy that. Like, if you can't go up the 30,000, then what over asking, then like, let's wait 6 more months.
Yep.
Because you're acting in a greed of just getting it done.
Absolutely.
And, and that's why, like, watching certain lenders or whatever, like, there's people I don't want to work with because I just don't agree with their ethics. And that to me is important.
Beautiful. I'm just going to, because I just want to end up on the end of it. You hit it on the money on the first part. Next one is I'll succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in the cooperation of other people. Why is that important? I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in the cooperation of other people. Dusty, you're into Star Wars. Tell me about the Force.
Oh man.
We only got a minute. Come on, bro.
Yeah, we don't have that much time.
It's
Wise with your words you are.
the Force, man, it's all around us. It's what we use to enhance our thoughts and our power within ourselves. And if it's there to take it.
Okay.
And it's there to recognize that it's to be utilized for our positive benefits.
Cool. And I'll succeed. Go ahead, Yvette.
Well, I was gonna say, I say, like, for me, it's like, I think it's just like a part of who I am. Like, the reason why I've made it from just helping people upload paperwork as a young 20-something is my personality, like who I was. Like, I did good work. I meant to be a good person, and people like that. Right. So I got more and more clients over time because of who I was. Mm-hmm. And Absolutely. It had nothing to really do with my skill. Like, yeah, it helped that I was like great at what I did, but because I was good to other people and helpful, like it kept it going.
That's the key. I will induce others to serve me. That means I will influence others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. So the focus again is on others first, and then people will want to help you out. But you got to focus on helping them out first. This gets to everything that's core in when you hear people say, oh, if you want to get, or, you know, if you help others get everything it is that they want, you'll get what you ultimately want. That's Zig Ziglar, right? Every philosophy of every great motivational speaker is tying into this concept and this idea of service, of serving others. But more importantly, I'm trying to tie it back to I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in the cooperation of other people. The only way to succeed, the only way to do anything extraordinary is through others. That's the key. That's why that's so big. That's why this group is so important. That's why Veteran Home Services is so important. It's because it's an understanding that me individually can only do so much on my own. And if I want to do something of great significance, it's got to be through others. Does that make sense? You guys feel that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go.
Yeah,
I'll eliminate
absolutely.
hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism, and developing a love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I'll believe in them and in myself. So I will cause Dusty, Yvette, Anthony, Amy, I don't know where she went, but I'll cause all of you to believe in me because I believe in you and in myself. I can't just believe in you and not believe in myself. It's got to be outward and inward, right? I'll sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I'll become a self-reliant and successful person. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Let's do it one time. You guys thought you're off the hook. Let's do it one time loud together with emotion, and try to do this if you're not doing it on a regular basis, at least once a week. But I'd say give yourself a week and try to do it every single morning. See how you feel. See if it makes a difference. And what I found out when I was doing it Monday through Friday, my weekend sucked. Sounds horrible, but it was because I wasn't doing this on the weekends. It really does work. It really puts your mind in the right spot of what to think throughout the day. You talk about being aware just after being ready for this chapter. Imagine if you're aware every single day because you're putting the right words into your mind. So let's do it once together if you guys are ready. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
First, I know that I have the ability to be the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand to myself persistent, continuous action
towards attainment.
And
I hear
now
action.
to render such
Second.
act.
All right, I'll pause it. And I know we're all off on different things. Let's try to do it loud together. Don't worry about how muffled it sounds when we're all yelling at something, but the emotion's got to be there, and it's got to be at a faster pace too, so that it actually programs the subconscious. There's a part in the chapter, if you remember, that they talk about the emotion with what you're saying. A lot of people will read this and just read it and kind of monotone. It doesn't do jack for them. The only way it actually works is if you're saying it with passion. So we're going to try to program that subconscious. This is the exercise to work on that. Okay, let's do it. Second,
I realize the dominating thoughts of
my mind will eventually reproduce
themselves
themselves
in outward
physical
action,
gradually
that
transform
can
themselves
transform
into
themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes a day on the task of becoming the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind clear mental picture of that person.
Any desire that I
Oh, are we keeping going? I thought we were stopping after everyone.
Come on, let's go.
All of it. All right.
That I have persistently hold in my
Third, I know
mind with
that's
eventually
physical
seek expression through some practical means of obtaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote many minutes daily to demand myself development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I have the development sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon the truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all human effects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use in cooperation with other people. I will induce others to serve me, and because of the willingness to serve others, I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy,
criticism by developing love
cynicism,
for all humanity
developing
and know
love
that
for all
negative
humanity
attitudes
because I
toward
know
others
that the
can never
negative
bring me
attitudes
success.
towards others
I will cause others
bring
to
me
believe that
success.
I will believe
I
in
will
them and
cause
in
others
myself.
to believe in
I
me
will sign my
because
name
I
to
will
this
believe in
formula,
them
commit
and
it
in
to memory,
myself. I
then
will
repeat it out
sign
loud once a day.
my
With the
name to
faith
this
that it
formula,
gradually
commit it to
influences my
memory,
thoughts
and
and
repeat it
actions,
aloud once
so
a
that I will
day
become
with
a
full
self-reliant,
faith that'll
successful
gradually influence my thoughts and actions so I'll become self-reliant and a successful person.
Hoorah!
All right.
All right, let's run it. Nice. Well, that was
It helped that I turned down the volume so I could only
I
hear
lost
myself.
track of what I was saying. I was starting to listen to you guys.
that was one of the most challenging ones I've ever been a part of, but it was good. I appreciate you guys' effort. All I'm seeing is on Yvette's screen, her head doing this the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck is going
Girl,
on?
how can she read and move her head back and forth? I was reading it
I was
perfectly
thinking
too.
Feeling the bouncing ball going. I'm just saying like, oh, I was like, she's having fun.
That's how I read when I like read it by myself. I'm just
There
like,
you go.
I'm very like, you know, whimsical. You know me.
Animated. It's all good.
Yes.
That was awesome. Hopefully it was good. You know, hopefully you guys had a good one with it, and you know, just thank you guys for your commitment to this. And you know,
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. This always sets me off right. This gets my mindset ready for the weekend, and I appreciate everybody and everybody opening up. It's been great. I love it.
well, we got a few more weeks of it, and then one of the thoughts that came to me before I even made the Force comment is then we're going to analyze Star Wars, but I don't know who the biggest Jedi fans are on here, so you guys can give me a map of the most effective way, or if one relates to one of the chapters and we want to tie it in, we can tie it in. But I was thinking it'd be, I never got into it till recently. I used to always just make fun of Dusty when I would hear about all his
Yeah.
he had with it. And I was just like, what?
Yeah, he gave me no self-confidence. He's like, bro, your stupid movie sucks.
He loved it. And then I actually opened up to it, finally got past those initial boring scenes in the original movies, you know, and I was able to get past all that. Once I got past it and into it, I was like, damn, this is awesome. And
I
then
mean,
Emma fell in
talk
love
about
with it.
Harry Potter. I'm into that, but Star Wars.
Oh, I love
I'm
my
too
Harry
young for
Potter.
Star Wars.
I love my Harry Potter.
See, then we can do Harry Potter. That has all these things. They're persistent. They make plans. Harry's been beat down his whole life.
All right. Well, you'll lead out the Harry Potter one. Dusty will do the Star Wars. What are you going to lead out, Anthony? What are you
What
gonna-
nerdy thing do you
Uh,
have, Anthony?
I'll do Marvel.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
there
cool.
you go. Iron Man.
There you go, man.
Well, thank you guys. Anthony, thank you again for your help, bud. Appreciate
No
it
problem,
over the
man.
last few days.
Have a good
I'm
weekend,
actually glad
everybody.
you went with the Sienna. I test drove that car because I had it for service, and I'm like, oh man, I want this for ourselves. But I thought you were just set on Hondas.
No, I mean, it was cool. The Odyssey was dope, but that Sienna is legit. It's
You'll be happy.
Is that Toyota?
Yeah, Toyota Sienna.
Yeah.
You gotta check it
It's
out.
car.
it's
Love
a
my
toy
Toyota.
Yoda.
So I asked Emma, I said, so what's the name? She's like, Yoda. I was like, I was like, that's right. She didn't hesitate. She's like, it's Yoda. I was like, sounds good to me. And then we come home and Mikey's like, he's like, I want to see it. I want to see it. And then Danielle was like, he named it Jerry. We're like, Jerry? Where the
Jerry.
fuck did Jerry come from?"
Harry.
That's
So
funny.
she's like, can it be Jerry Yoda or Yoda Jerry?
Yoda.
Yoda. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good one. Thank you again. Definitely, highlight to the morning here. And yeah, we'll see.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah, guys
You
have a good
too.
one.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Toodles.
All right. See
Toodles.
you guys.
All right. Bye.